world has developed many demands that grab our attention left and right. Our stress levels increase, our workload is heavy, and it often can feel like a never-ending struggle. During this time, it's easy for us to desire vacation or some time away from the busyness and find ourselves in a place to simply relax. I'm here to tell you that time spent with nature is better than being in the city. I've done extensive research and have experience in spending time in places such as lakes and mountains to help share how it has benefited me more than the times I've spent in the city. Some points I will be going over are the health benefits of nature, the advantages of living in the country, the lower costs, and a response to opposing views. Nature is essential to human health. According to Adam Alter, a professor of marketing and psychology at New York University, nature restores mental functioning in the same way that food and water restores our bodies. Man-made environments tend to demand so much from us, and what it takes away, nature tends to give back. Psychologists call this the attention restoration theory, which provides an analysis of the kinds of experiences that lead to recovery from fatigue. According to this theory, urban environments become very draining, forcing us to direct our attention to certain tasks, yet they are absent in natural environments. As Adam Alter says, forests, streams, rivers, lakes, and oceans demand very little from us, though they're still engaging, ever-changing, and attention-grabbing. Stephen Kaplan, who works in the Department of Psychology at the University of Michigan, says that the natural environments turn out to be particularly rich in the characteristics necessary for restorative experiences. Do you ever notice how many different smells and air pollution are around when you're in the city? There are 6 common air pollutants: ozone, particulate matter, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, and lead. The American Lung Association shows that the most polluted cities are the ones with the most urban lifestyles, such as cities with more traffic, buildings, and man-made materials. For example, Bakersfield, Merced, and Fresno, California are ranked the top 3 most polluted cities. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the amount of particle pollution in Los Angeles is 20 micrograms per cubic meter of small particle matter. But the average amount of micrograms of particles per cubic meter in Lake Tahoe, for example, is only about 5.1. Fine particles, such as those found in smoke and haze, are 2.5 micrometers in diameter and smaller. However, the cleanest cities or towns tend to be in areas or states that contain more trees, fields, and natural environments. AmericanForest.org states that forests renew our air supply by absorbing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. A single tree can absorb 10 pounds of air pollutants a year and produce nearly 260 pounds of oxygen, enough to support 2 people. Beyond the many health benefits of nature, I'd like to now discuss more advantages of living in or around rural areas. Advantages of living in the country include that in the country there's less noise and fresh air, allowing you to think better and breathe better, not to mention my favorite view of the stars due to less light pollution. As Albert Einstein says, the monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Having quieter surroundings allows for less distractions and increases the ability to think better. Consider this. Some people drive hours or take flights to locations with beautiful scenery to view and enjoy, but living around it would allow you to see it daily. Even if you don't live in the country, though, for the sake of needing to live near your job or school, it still has its benefits when you need time away from the demands of daily life, and is a good idea to consider living near a place that contains a lot of nature nonetheless. Dr. Paulin, a professor of psychology, says that there is now good evidence that exposure to nature, even if brief, can help to immunize our brains against the effects of urban stress, and can also improve cognitive function. Now that I've talked about the advantages of living in the country, let's move on to the cost of living. If you want more than just visiting a place located in the countryside, living there could be a good idea for the commonly lower prices. The average cost of a rural home is about $129,000 as a homeowner, while a home in an urban area is averaged $153,000, according to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Expenditure Survey taken in 2011. Mortgage interest and charges on urban housing also tend to be about $1,000 more annually than rural housing. Mark Patterson, an engineer, patent attorney, and author on retirement planning, claims that with the exception of food, almost everything else that he purchases in rural community is less expensive, including utilities, insurance, and maintenance services. I know that someday I would like to at least live in a place that has easy access to a forest, a mountain trail, or the beach, but also a house away from the busy city would not only cost less, but it would come with less stress and less noise pollution. Now that I've gone over some brief details on lower cost of living, I shall discuss some possible concerns. Like Dr. Sage Myers, a pediatric emergency medicine specialist at the University of Pennsylvania, you might believe that there are more dangers for living in the country. Dr. Myers believes that dying from some form of accident or injury is 20% greater in rural countries in the United States than in the nation's biggest cities. He believes that more deaths occur in rural areas such as car accidents because they are more prone to driving on the highways at higher speeds or less likely to comply with seatbelt and child restraint. However, it doesn't determine the psychological or physiological reasons that are more of a concern for daily living and our overall health for long-term risks. The American Lung Association states that nearly 6.4 million people in the U.S. live in an area with unhealthful year-round levels of particle pollution. Too much exposure over time can increase risk of hospitalization for asthma, damage to the lungs, and can increase the risk of premature death. You might also be thinking that the city has much more to offer, including more jobs or more shopping opportunities. While this may be true, it also includes higher stress levels. Dr. Allard, whom I mentioned earlier, says it has been known for quite some time that rates of mental illness tend to be higher in busy urban centers than they are in the countryside. Many studies have shown that people born and raised in cities have higher rates of psychosis, anxiety disorders, and depression. In comparison, the city life has more air pollution, light pollution, and noise pollution. I conclude to say that although the city has more shops, entertainment, and food to eat, we will always find ourselves stressed with the demands in life and will often need some solitude. Taking a walk to a quiet place with nature tends to be the most recommended advice to find such solitude. You do not necessarily have to live in the country to find that nature is better for the mind, body, and soul, but it will always give us something that the city cannot. I have gone over the health benefits of nature, some advantages of living in the country, the lower cost of housing, and what some experts who oppose may say, which should help you see how very beneficial natural environments can be to the human body no matter who you are. The city will try to demand your attention left and right, but don't hesitate to let nature calm your mind. It's free therapy and worth exploring.